All right, we're back. If you guys haven't watched the first video, go ahead and watch the top 10 favorite cards of 2025. But here we will now continue with our top 10 least favorite cards. So if you found your way to this video first, this is the first of a series that we will be doing annually of our review of the year of 2025, all the cards that came out in Flesh and Blood, and what our top 10 favorite cards are and what our top 10 least favorite cards are. If you haven't watched the first video, highly recommend you go back and watch that one. But this one now, we are going to get into what we thought were our least favorite cards, whether it be we think we don't like the design, we didn't like the play experience, we didn't enjoy the cards themselves, what they did for the game. It could be really anything. It's a subjective thing. It's our opinion, so there's no right and wrong. It's just kind of what we feel. And Levi and I are both going into this blind. We wrote our list separate from one another. We did not talk about it. We did not collaborate. And now we are just going to share and kind of discuss our thoughts as we go through it. Mm-hmm. Before we get into this, did you have any honorable mentions?
Kinda, not really.
Because I had honorable mentions for the first one for our favorites, but Levi didn't, so I opted to not share mine.
Yeah.
But I'm going to share my honorable mentions for this because I think we deserve to be heard about our least favorite cards designed of this year. So let me go ahead and open my list. I have 5 honorable mentions before we get to it. Man. It'll be brisk. It'll be brisk. I swear.
Huge hater over here.
Number 1, Felling, because it got reprinted. Number 2, Codex of Frailty, because it got reprinted.
Okay, I would have put Codex on there if I could.
3, Preach Modesty, because guys, why would you even waste an expansion slot on that card? That is a shameful thing to do. 4, Disarm, because I hate that card. Any kind of blocking disarm thing from Tough Nut. That's the one that says if it blocks first and it has 6 or more, your opponent takes a card from their hand and puts it to...
Yeah.
Hate that card. Absolutely hate that card. And then number 5 is the Marlin Hero card. Hate that card. Should never existed. Cancel the hero. Get rid of the game. All right, now let's get to the real deal.
Okay.
Number 10.
You want to start with 10?
I would love to start with number 10.
Okay.
Number 10, Shelter from the Storm. What were you guys thinking? You're printing an insane 4D React like Sink Below in a majestic slot in a set that was reduced in its print run. You're making a new D-React staple that's $80 to $100 that, in addition to, replaces Fate for Scene in a way, but it creates almost more variance in the game because now you're increasing a higher density of D-Reacts in the majority of decks, which creates CNC being stronger, which is, I'm not opposed to CNC being stronger, but it just creates less fun engagements and interaction when you're stuck with a bunch of D-Reacts in your hand. I do think Shelter, as a card design, is great. I play the card, I like the card. I think it does help with some of the other mechanics that were introduced into the game this year with preventable damage, flick knives, stuff like that, one-off damages. I do like that aspect of the design. I don't think the card is inherently bad design. I just think that the introduction of the card in general left a bad taste in my mouth for a large portion of the year. I think that the card was a failure to launch, I guess we could share.
Yeah, being at Majestic Rarity was a problem.
Yeah, for sure. If it wasn't a Majestic, I probably wouldn't have it on my... That's why it's number 10, because it's like right on the crest. It's like right cresting in as least favorite. But not because of the design, more just because of how it was released, how it was introduced into the game, and the inaccessibility of the card, I think, was just really, like, tough. Because I mean, I remember when we were sitting in Prague and we saw the spoilers and we saw Shelter from the Storm get announced, and we were like, this is going to be a $100 card. It's going to be quite... and all year, it hasn't dropped below $80. So, tough.
Yeah.
10.
All right. Before I say the name of the card, I got a small backstory to it.
Oh, no.
All right. Going through high C spoiler season. Right.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm looking at Marlin, I'm like, all right, we're getting there. We've got our big harpoons. We've got our blue harpoons. We're like, all right, this deck is looking very promising. What I need is, like, one more good harpoon. Then they hit, like, the box breaks. And they open up the very last harpoon in the set. And this is Rusty Harpoon. This is not what I was looking for. I was looking for something with an on-hit. I was looking for something that stayed with the same class curve as the rest of the harpoons. I did not specify that I meant an actual harpoon, not some stupid rusty harpoon. But I got a stupid rusty harpoon.
You can't always get what you want.
It's not even 2 power. All the other 0-cost arrows are 2 power. Why is it 1 power? Why does it not do anything? Rusty Harpoon number 10.
I respect that. That's a very valid claim. And it's kind of like in my preach modesty honorable mention, just like, why? Why would you do this? This is not what we needed. It doesn't do anything. Yeah. My number 9 is a combo. It's a combo package. So, it kind of falls into the same vein because it's not necessarily the cards. It's the essence of what the cards are. It's Wrath of Retribution and Fire and Brimstone.
Yeah.
What are we doing, guys? Are we creating Yu-Gi-Oh cards out here? What's the deal with these legendary one-ofs that are just these like game-winning high roll cards where they're like, if we had 3, it'd be unbalanced. So let's just let them have 1.
Yeah.
That will fix it. How many games I've won this year from Wrath of Retribution just because I drew it and was able to play it, and my opponent just then at that point took 10 damage because there's nothing they can do about it.
Gotten
Dumb.
35 by Fangs playing with Fire and Brimstone with Perforates.
Because they drew it.
Because they drew
it.
And then sometimes you just make them block with it and like, oh, sweet, we're safe.
Yeah, like what's with this high variance thing of literally like this card, I get this one card that will just straight up win me a game, or I just hit the 3 block.
Yeah. I kind of also have that on my list, but I expanded out a little bit. I said legendary keyworded stuff, which then includes Ring of Roses.
That was my next one.
Riches. And the new Fabled Authority.
Dang, dude, you just took like all the cards on my list.
Yeah, I saw them all, and I was like, what do I hate about these? I hate that the Fableds have other reasons, but Ring of Roses, Fire and Brimstone, and Wrath of Retribution were all just like, they're one of like bomb cards that that's not what I want in Flesh and Blood.
No. I mean, my number 8 is Ring of Roses.
Okay.
For very same reason. Yeah. It's just like why we have this like high roll. If I draw this card early, it changes everything. And if I don't see it, it dramatically changes
a block
the
3.
outcome. Yeah, it's just like very, very high variance. So that was my number 8. What was your number 9?
My number 9 I have is Savor Bloodshed.
I can see that.
That card's so annoying.
I saw that card and I considered putting it in my top 10 favorites. And then I was like, I can't bring myself moralistically to do that.
The fact that the assassins are able to trigger it by flicking is just like, you're in a spot where you're like, if I block, I hope they don't have the reaction so that they have to flick a dagger, but like, do they even care about flicking a dagger? Like, there's not really, most situations, unless you have like a Shelter from the Storm, like you just don't have that much counterplay against the assassins. And then against Fang, I think it's a lot weaker in Fang, but it's still just annoying where it's like, I don't know how many reactions they have. I can't just overblock a ton. They just got to play a 0 for 4. They got to play a Snatch. Like, that's literally all it is if you don't stop the on-hit.
Reaction Snatch was go again.
Yeah, and it's just like, and it's a 3 block.
Yeah. But it's majestic, so it's okay.
Sure.
You only get 3.
Yeah. It doesn't feel fun to play against, and there isn't like a downside. Like, you can have a huge upside on a card, but it also has to have like a low floor. That it's a 0 for 4 floor.
Yeah.
Granted, in the assassins, you still have to swing your dagger, which is slightly below rate. Blah 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 blah.
And
but
it's a little clunky occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But its floor is just way too high, and its ceiling is too high, I think, and it's just frustrating because it doesn't feel like you have enough counterplay against it.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think that is a very valid least favorite card of the year.
Yeah.
So what's your number 8 then?
Number 8, you're not going to see this one coming.
Okay.
Cogworks Dovetail.
Bro, what, dude, leave Puffin alone. She's trying to survive in the corner, okay?
The card's so annoying because it's entirely face up, and every time I go to block that card, I'm just like, you've got 3 cogs in play. I could block 7, and then you just use one of the cogs to give it go again, and you still have 2 left. I could not block, and then you come in for 7 and get go again, and you get all your cogs back. I could, like, it just was annoying. I don't know, the card annoyed me every time they played it. I was like, I don't know how to block this properly. I don't know if I'm supposed to block it. I feel bad over blocking it, because then they're not actually buffing it. It was just annoying. I don't like that card.
Yeah, it's one of those cards that we're seeing more and more where it's like a lose-lose kind of card, where it's like no matter what you do, it's kind of just a bad situation. You don't really get much agency in the choice of the outcome. The agency is, how do I want to, what's the least worst outcome that happens here?
Yeah, which it's funny, I think, kind of tying in that slight tangent, is a lot of people would complain about Palantir, and I think Palantir is fine. I think Palantir was very interesting design in that it you took the setup and you had like this punish available if your opponent, or like depending on how your opponent blocked. And it felt like that was more interaction. Dovetail felt like very low opportunity cost, very high payoff consistently.
Dovetail has a lot of flexibility.
Yeah.
Palantir is very linear. Like it does
Yeah.
this thing, and that's the payoff. Where
Yeah.
Dovetail's like, I can be anything I want to be.
Yeah. Stop. Pick one thing.
Yeah. No, that's super valid.
Yeah.
My number 7 is Saltwater Swell. Oh my gosh, I hate that card with a passion. Why did we ban Belittle and then create Saltwater Swell, where it's almost the same thing? Granted, you don't get to tutor out the card that you wanted. It has the malleability. Just
It can
goes straight in.
miss.
It can miss, but like, oh no, I just got 3 resources, and oh man, it was a backly break line. So oh no, I got an action point too. I'm so good.
I'm so pro.
I'm so good at the game. And you get to play as many as you want. I hate that card. Every time because then they go Saltwater Swell, blue, oh, Conquer the High Seas, oh, Minion, oh, I guess it worked out.
One resource, play Rigor Mortis.
I hate it, man. Yeah, Saltwater Swell, number 7. Hate that card, man. How can we live in a world where Belittle's not okay, but that's okay?
Fair enough. My number 7 was the Fableds and the Ring of Roses and Fire and Brimstone and Wrath of Retribution.
Yeah, I'm glad that we can all agree on that.
Yeah, the Fableds, I didn't mention as much before, was just like partly the cost. And yeah, it's mainly the cost on those. I don't like playable Fableds, and the last 2 Fableds have been far too playable. That's just, I remember building Marlin originally and being like, yeah, the deck is $2,000 and $1,000 of that is 2 Fableds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that design space. They should be more niche, like Schism of Chaos was a good Fable as far as design.
Great.
It's like,
Love that unplayable card. Play Hive.
some people play it.
Great unplayable card.
People played Schism.
Yeah. No, they definitely can play Schism.
Yeah.
It's a card you can register in your deck.
Some people did, and it was fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't like them being like very powerful. So.
Well, that's a good transition because my number 6 was Riches.
Yeah.
I just want to take a short moment just to talk about this card, just to highlight it, just to give it its time. Let alone the card being incredibly broken and pushed. Mechanically speaking, in Victor, where it's Pot of Greed, in Kasai, where I don't think it's as egregious in Kasai, but it just kind of like bypasses the work you have to put in to get a gold. You just, ta-da, I get a gold.
Yeah.
And then the Pirates as well. It just was like it felt like it was a half-baked card where they're like, this seems flavorful and cool, and let's just push it because it's a cool, fun card.
Yeah.
I also think the release of the card was an utter failure because where's the cold foil?
Yeah.
I think that there was a miscommunication between the treasure pack people and the main set. And they're like, I thought you had it. No, I thought you had it. And they're like, oops, and it just doesn't exist, which means the card's incredibly expensive too, just because they're scarce and they're harder to find and they're incredibly playable. So I just think Riches, every aspect of it, market aspect of it, design aspect of it, playable aspect of it, I'm just not a fan of the card as a whole.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
Number 6.
I don't know if I wrote it down in the right order. I think it's Hunter or Hunted, the new Arachne card.
The D-React?
Yeah,
Bro,
dude.
what did he do?
Okay.
Huntsman's done nothing.
You're going to see a common thread for the remainder of my cards.
D-Reacts.
No. Don't take cards out of my hand on my turn.
Oh, dude, yeah, we're about to be on the same page here.
Okay. This is my hand. This is my turn. You stay out of it.
You played Icelander, bro. What do you mean? It was okay when you were doing
Yes.
it.
Did I say I can't take cards out of your hand on your turn?
Okay.
I said you can't take cards out of my hand on my turn.
Understood.
Yeah. The very first game I played against that card, turn 0 is Kasai. I was like, sure, I'll swing. They play it out. Hidden Iron Song response off the top of my deck, and I was playing 4 copies. So I lost all 4, and they got 4 silver. And then they got to buy back a bunch of stuff across the game. Like, no, stay out of my hand. These are my cards. I wish Bonds of Agony came out this year so I could put it on my list.
Yeah, well, it'll be on everybody's list. See, like I feel like Hunter Hunted is totally fine because Huntsman has nothing else going on, so they kind of needed to give him something that was pushed. It's not even pushed. It's just like accelerating. accelerating the game plan.
It's not broken. It's annoying.
Okay, that's fair. See, like, my number 5 is Tarantula Toxin.
Oh, yeah.
That card needs to die in a pit
Yes.
and never come out.
Agreed.
Because,
I'm surprised it was only 5 for you.
well, I had to make space for the other cards I hated so much.
Okay, it made 2 for me.
Well, that's fair. I totally see that. It could but there's other cards in the game that I hate more.
Yeah.
But Tarantula Toxin is just, again, similar to the Bonds of Agony thing. It's like I lose if I block and I lose if I don't. Like, no matter what, you're getting punished for it, and trying to play around the card is just incredibly difficult. And, I mean, maybe you could say that the new Assassins, if they didn't have the card, would struggle to close games or would struggle to perform their game plan, so it's kind of a necessary piece, but it's an incredibly obnoxious necessary piece to have in the deck, and I just really dislike the design of the card. So yeah, number 5 for you, right? Because that was my 5.
Wait. Yes. 5. Leave them hanging. This is my hand.
Oh, yeah.
This is my turn. Leave my cards there.
That's fair. I mean, I think the card's incredibly annoying. I don't think it's egregious. I just think it's
That's why it was only
annoying.
4.
Yeah. Oh, wait, 5?
5? I can't read my own numbers. Yes.
Is it number 5?
Yeah, 5.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I also considered it, but I was like, let the little man have it. Like,
No.
let him have it.
No.
He needs it. It makes it interesting.
Like, again, it's not even that crazy powerful. It's just annoying. And there's, like, potential for blowout. It's just, like, frustrating.
Well, I guess my top 5 also has a theme. The last 5 cards all have a common theme, and that theme is, don't punish me for blocking. Flesh and Blood is a game that was intended for blocking, to defend, and stop damage. I shouldn't be punished for blocking. So Tarantula Toxin is 5. Number 4 is Peck Perfect. Why?
Card's great.
Why do I lose double the amount of cards because I chose to not take 9 damage?
Just kill him.
It's like,
take 9 and kill him.
Just take 9, or do you want to lose 6 cards? It's like, well, you drive a hard bargain, I guess, like, I guess I'll have to just lose 6 cards from my deck.
Yeah.
And like this whole reoccurring theme that we're seeing from this year on, where it's just been this whole like, well, if you block, you get punished for it. Or like, you try to play Flesh and Blood and you get punished for trying to play Flesh and Blood.
Yeah. And
I really hate that card. It was a card when I first saw it, I was like, no big deal. And then I played against it. And then I'm like, this card should not exist. Why is this in the game?
Yeah.
Hate Peck Perfect. Number 4, Peck Perfect.
All right. My number 4. You ready for another common theme? Test of Iron Grip.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I've got this crazy theme going on that says, this is my turn. These are my cards. Don't take cards out of my hand on my turn. It's another one where it's just like, stop.
Yeah.
Test of Strength. You drawing cards, perfectly fine. Making me discard is just frustrating. If you can't tell, I really don't like losing cards out of my hand on my own turn. Cole was spared from the list. I'll give you that spoiler. Because that's actually an interesting,
it's malleable. Card. It does many things.
Basically all the others, they're on the list.
The ones that you just throw down, you're like, oops.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, we'll get to that. I'm working my way up.
Okay.
Number 3, Reckless Stampede. Again, in Flesh and Blood, if I block, I shouldn't take damage. Why am I getting punished for playing the game? I'm trying not to die, and you're saying, sorry, you're going to die. Like, that is just such an unfun gaming experience where I sit down, I'm at 3 life or something, I've used all my armor effectively, I've played the game, and then it's like Reckless Stampede for 8.
Well, armor triggers it too, right?
Exactly, that's why I used it early.
Yeah.
And they go Reckless Stampede for 8. It's like, well,
YOLO?
Unless I have Sigil or some prevention effect, I guess, or they whiff on a clash. Then it just becomes even more variance. Where it's like, okay, well, YOLO, hopefully maybe you have a Blood Rush on top of your deck or something. I don't know, but yeah. Peck Perfect, Reckless Stampede, egregious cards to play against. Mm-hmm. I hate having to be punished for just trying to be a good Flesh and Blood player.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Number 3.
Cool. We'll pivot off the theme slightly to my hate for Assassins. Take Up the Mantle. Only because I couldn't say bonds. I know bonds is banned now, and it's less egregious, but it's still... When you attack with a card, I should know what the on-hits are when you attack with it.
You do. It's in their graveyard. You can look at all their options.
You should play it out and say, if this hits, this happens. You know, the spikes, those are fine, because those are, like, less egregious additional on-hits. But the fact that it's like, I don't know what on-hit this is going to be. Or what power it's going to be. It's just like... I need to know something so I know how to block.
I just think it's so funny because you're just like...
Especially when it's go again. They're just like, 3 go again, and you're like... Yeah, well, that's probably just 3, right? And they're like, no, actually, it's 9 with an on-hit.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I should have known it was 9 with an on-hit. Why didn't I realize that when you said 3 go again?
I just think it's funny that like this frustrates you, but you're like, but you play decks where it's like 15 dominate with an on-hit.
Yeah, I'm telling you what's going to happen.
Yeah, but you can't do anything about it. At least
you know what's going to happen.
React. Yeah, but you're like, I can't do anything about it.
Right, but I'm face up.
Yeah,
there's
sure.
no tricks
That's
here.
What makes it okay.
There's no tricks here.
You still can interact with it, but you know what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
That's fine.
Oh, that's fair. It's fair. Whatever. What?
You got to be honest. Face up, honest gameplay.
Sure, I agree with that. I'm on the same boat, which is why my number 2 is Test of Iron Grip.
Yep.
I put that up there. I can't believe you had it that low. Like, that card is by far in the history of Flesh and Blood. Like, not just 2025. History of FAB, definitely in my top 5 least favorite cards that have ever existed. For all the reasons you've listed. Like, it's my turn. Let me play my turn. I don't want to be punished because I tried to play my turn, right?
Yeah.
And again, it's even more insulting because I think Clash as a mechanic is my least favorite mechanic in Flesh and Blood because of how high variance it is, how so many decks just get oppressed by it, where it's just like, I can't Clash, I just lose everything. And so it's like, Victor already had a good aggro matchup. And then like, how about we created a card that made it even more oppressive? But it's fine, because if you lose a card, so it's balanced. Mm-hmm. And you can re-roll it in Victor.
Only reason it made it to 4, you've heard this story. They need to hear this story. But I attacked a Volda for 8 overpower at an armory. They blocked with 2 Test of Iron Grips. And revealed like a seismic eruption. I don't remember what. It's some seismic. Some 0 power thing against my 6. And they discarded the rest of their hand instead of getting go fished. And it was like, okay, this card's fair and balanced. I'm okay with this. That's why it only made 4.
That's why you shouldn't play it in Volvo.
Fair.
All right, number 2 is your T-Tox, right?
Yeah, Tarantula Toxin. There's so many games that you get to, like endgame, where it's like, I literally can't play around Tarantula Toxin. There is no correct play. If they have it, I lose the game, and there is nothing I can do about it. You just lost. Mm-hmm. And not having the option of making the correct choice is very frustrating. Because there's no correct choice against that card. And then you get punished even more for blocking it. There's so many times where it'll be like 3, and you're like, I'd like to preserve health. I'll block 3. It's like, that you didn't preserve health. I got more value out of my card. Your card did nothing. Like, it's just frustrating. It's the floor, again, it's the floor and ceiling on these things, and the floor on that card is just not low enough to justify how high of a ceiling it has.
Back in my day, we had Shred.
Yeah, that had a bad floor, or a low floor, and a great ceiling.
And then they were like, what if we made it a Majestic and gave it more effects?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. That's actually, that's interesting, because I should have on my top 10 favorites put Graphene Calicera, because I think that dagger is so sick in the way that it interacts in the game.
Outside of
Tarantula Toxin, and all that. But anyway, whatever. We're past that. We're on least favorites now. All right, number 1. I am 100% sure that we have the same number 1.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not even close.
Because it hasn't shown up yet.
Yes, because you would have said it earlier, but want to say it at the same time?
Yeah, absolutely.
On 3, 1, 2, 3. Truth or trickery? This is the downfall of man. Back in my day, when we played Flesh and Blood, there was a certain amount of decision and consequence and action that occurred. And now we have just straight up gotten to coin flips. Yeah. I mean, granted, scabs is always a roll, but truth or trickery is just a hardcore coin flip.
Yep. Anyone who says it's not a coin flip is, I think, wrong. Like,
would you like to expound upon that?
Yeah, because unless you somehow can outsmart your opponent and read their mind, Or I guess technically, if you knew the top card of their deck already, maybe they rabbled at some point. I don't know how you would know the top deck, but if you don't know it, if either person feels that they are disadvantaged, they can flip a coin. So unless you both fully agree it's a 50-50, at which point it's a coin flip, then you coin flip, which means it's a coin flip. So you should never actually have an advantage. It's just a coin flip. They just use a bunch of words on it to not make it seem like you're flipping a coin. And what you should be doing most of the time is just flip a coin. You should not try and mind game your opponent and be like, you're just going to waste mental energy, and you're going to be frustrated when you get it wrong, or they're going to be frustrated when you call it right. It's a coin flip. Flip a coin, roll a die, see what happens, see how sad you are, and move on with your day.
The lamb on the art is kind of cool, though.
Yeah, sure.
I like the lamb. I like the lamb. I like the lamb. Makes it a little less frustrating when I get wrecked by the card. But yeah, I think that this is by far, in history of Flesh and Blood again, but specifically 2025, this is definitely one of my least favorite cards that's ever been made. And again, within the context of this as well, I don't think the card is egregious. Like, I don't think that it inherently makes Lyeth like oppressive or broken. Like, it's almost a necessary card in Lyeth. I just think it's incredibly unfun to play against, which, kind of fits the whole thematic theme of Lyeth, where he's just kind of like an angry dude who's kind of just vile and unfun to be around, and it makes sense flavor-wise, but it doesn't make the fact okay that Truth or Trickery is a very unfun and high-variance card to play against in the game of Flesh and Blood.
Yeah.
And so, that's, I think, we've actually, if you watched our favorite cards, we had very few overlap. We had one card, but we are very much so in agreement in a lot of cards on this on this time around, which I think is good. That maybe like we're just kind of disgruntled men.
I'm going to be honest. Part of my list was also just being like, I need to try and make sure I don't overlap too much with Dando. Maybe I shouldn't include that. I should have a little bit of very exciting
differences.
Yeah, just different options in there instead of just being all the same cards that Dando would hate.
And I'm sure there's a lot of you who a lot of the cards that we said on this list would probably be on your top 10 favorite cards, which is why I would love in the comments for you to go ahead and put your top 10 least favorite cards of 2025, and then go to the other video and comment on that one and tell me your top 10 favorite cards of the year, because this is all a subjective experience, Truth or Trickery, Tarantula Toxin, all these cards that you like to play with, that you think are fun and make the experience an enjoyable experience, is why we play Flesh and Blood. Yeah. Our opinion and our tastes are very different, or they're coming from a different perspective of a time of when we used to play FAB, or card games or experiences that we've had that maybe we don't find as enjoyable. But I'm sure there's a lot of you guys who really do enjoy these cards, and there's nothing wrong with that. Don't let our opinions sway what you think is fun or what you think makes the game great, because that's why we all play it, is for the various reasons of what we enjoy about it, right?
Yeah.
So I hope you enjoy this. I hope you found it at least fun and something fun to talk about in the comments, or to kind of at least flame us in the comments if you have a differing opinion or something.
Question: if this does well, do you think we could go back and do past years?
We could. If you guys want to have like 2024 best, worst cards of 2024, whatever.
Because then you could actually say Codex or Felling for that year, and then Codex for the previous.
It could kind of be like a historical anthology of like when things started to change or go wrong,
Okay. If we did the year with Uprising, it's all Icelander cards for your most disliked, right?
Oh, just 10 of them? Yeah, no question. Icelander is just number one. The card itself, Icelander, is number one on the list, for sure. But then you'd have New as yours for last year. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we all have our things. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. Let us know if you did. If you do, if that is something that interests you potentially. Obviously, we'd love to continue doing this as the years continue to go on. Again, thank you, Flesh and Blood. Thank you, LSS, for making this card game. And I hope, although we might be a little harsh or be sharing our opinion, we all know it's in good fun. And of course, without you guys, we wouldn't even have a job. We wouldn't even be here. So keep making cards, keep trying, keep improving.
100%. Make more cards that we like and less cards we don't like.
If you ever make another card like Truth or Trickery, I'm going to flame you.
Absolutely. We'll call you out.
Yeah, for sure. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave a like, comment, whatever. Do whatever you feel. I really want to know what your favorite cards are and your least favorite cards of the year. So go ahead and drop a comment.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to reading through that as well. It'll be a fun little end of the year collab that we can compete in. So yeah, we'll talk to you later, guys. Thank you.
See you.